So our next guest, we talk about all the worldly theme from Michael Jackson. Well, even the groups and the charities inspired by him have such a worldly theme. This next organization, Michael's Children's Hospital, also Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital, has members from all over the globe, and I'm talking about Tanzania, I'm talking about Brazil, Turkey, Sweden, Spain, Argentina, and the list goes on and on. Of course, the good old U.S. of A. And right now, we are going to bring on the president and the project administrator of Michael's Dream Foundation, Incorporated. This is the dream to build a children's hospital in Michael's name. Let's give a big hearty welcome to Christine Serene. Welcome, Christine.
Hello. Thanks.
Did I pronounce your last name accurately, Serene?
Serene, yep, just like in the dictionary.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to the Michael Jackson Preservation Project. How are you doing tonight?
Thanks. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. It's been a rough day, but I'm here.
Well, you've been a trooper listening in on hold all this time. By the way, Christine is very prompt. She called in on time. And while we went off on a tangent, Christine listened patiently for her live segment. We really do appreciate you joining us. And you took time out of your day at a very late schedule and a very late notice to join us. And, again, the show is all about Michael's humanitarianism, but also what his fans are doing to carry on that spirit. So please fill us in. And I think if any of us kind of follow the events of late last year with the Murray trial, we heard something about a hospital. I know Michael mentioned that in one of the recordings, but please tell us what exactly your organization is about and how it came to pass.
Well, it really started with the opening statements from the prosecution during the Conrad Murray trial when they played that awful recording of Michael talking about building a children's hospital with the money that he was to make from the This Is It tour. And it just struck a chord with a lot of fans. And actually one of my best friends, Rebecca Black, is the one who started the initiative on Facebook, opened a Facebook group and basically said, hey, you know what, I think we can do this, and who would be with us? And it just kind of... Whoa. Hello?
What was that? Okay, we can hear you.
Okay. So, within a couple weeks, we had a couple thousand members of the group and people left and right wanting to help. And so, really it started early on. I think it was the end of September that the Facebook group officially was founded. And then Michael's Dream Foundation as a nonprofit organization was founded in February of this year as the legal entity behind the Children's Hospital Project. So,
okay. I like how that started because I couldn't listen to that recording, to be quite honest with you. I know that he mentioned the Children's Hospital, but it was, that was such a dark little moment. That was a dark, big moment in the trial. But I like how you guys were able to see the light and turn it into a positive because he did mention it. And despite of all that came out in that trial, it's great that you guys were able to see something positive and then, continue the legacy with one of his last recorded wishes.
Well, absolutely. And, I think one of the things that had the biggest impact on us was just the fact that in that state, that's still what he was thinking about is helping kids and healing the world, it was always there in his mind and in his wishes. So, for him to not be able to finally make that last wish of his come true, because he talked about it in other interviews as well throughout the years that he wanted a Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital. I think, one of the ones most talked about was in New Jersey. He wanted to build one in New Jersey, and I'm not sure the history of that. I don't know if he tried to start it or plan it and it didn't work or if he just never got to that point. I'm not sure, but it was definitely something that was always there kind of in the background, and it never happened. So, right now our foundation is a legal entity, and we are right now waiting for our charity status from the IRS, which will give us our 501c3 status, which will allow us to take donations that would be tax deductible. And we're just we're getting the business end of things settled, because there's been a lot of fans that, obviously wouldn't be comfortable donating any money to an organization of our magnitude, if you will, without some kind of legal paperwork behind it saying, yes, we are an actual charity. So, at this time we're not taking any donations, and we will not take donations until we are tax exempt and an official charity. But right now it's just a lot of business. It's a lot of organizing, and, there's a lot of people involved, and they all want to help. So it's definitely grown in the past 9 months.
For sure.
Quite faster than I thought it would, actually.
And to be internationally known at 100 countries, that's what Luis is telling us in the chat room. I'm guessing that has a lot to do with social media and just how vast and diverse the Michael Jackson fan web community is.
I think that has a lot to do with it. We have a really good promotions team in place. That's all they do is, Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and YouTube and WordPress and you name it, we're on it, and trying to get pledges. So in the past week, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, I went through all of the pledges we have and kind of tallied up the countries, and we have pledges from people in over 100 countries at this point, which is really exciting.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just a pledge saying, yeah, let's do it. Yes, I support this. There's no money. It's not a financial obligation. It's just a pledge of, yes, I support it, So we actually have representatives also in about, I think we have about 40 countries represented at this point, with people actually volunteering in each of those countries, trying to gain pledges and spread the word and, just kind of get our name out there and let people know what we're doing.
Now, I can understand planting a tree in Michael's name or, dropping a toy in a sick child's hand, which is all great and amazing. I can understand, fans doing something like that, but to start this initiative seems so huge.
Yeah.
What are the because a hospital is huge. So what once you guys are charitable, officially affiliated or I guess recognized by the IRS as a charity?
Pardon me?
The first step is to be recognized by the IRS as a charity to get that or what's the
first step was to actually open a company, which is Michael's Dream Foundation. That's the nonprofit registered in the state of Pennsylvania. The second step is to gain our charity/tax exempt status, which
that's right.
Yeah, that's the 501c3. The application was enormous. It took us 2 months. Me and my lawyer getting things together and right. And, we finally sent it in the beginning of June, and we just got confirmation last week that they did receive the application, but because of budget cuts and stuff, they're kind of behind, in other words, on taking a look at things. So, yeah, that was step 2, is getting that done. And basically what that is it says that any money that we take is tax exempt. We don't pay taxes on it, and anybody that actually donates can claim that on their tax returns at the end of the year as a deductible expense.
Awesome.
Which helps both.
So after step 2, I guess what would be like a realistic first-year plan, year 2 plan, 5-year plan for MJCH?
Well, at this point, it's just, again, like I said, it's a matter of waiting for that status to come through, and in the meantime, we're getting everything organized. Once the status does come through and we're approved, we will start taking donations immediately, and those donations will basically be divided The plan so far is 25% to administrative costs, 75% to the actual mission of the foundation, and just collecting money. That's really, at this point, what we need to start doing as soon as possible, after we get our charity status, is start collecting money, because once we get some money coming in, then we can explore other ways to help kids sooner. One of the things we've discussed within the committee, our company's committee, is, and I don't know how familiar you are with our plans or our website, but one of the things we've discussed doing is building additions onto existing hospitals before actually building a brand new hospital from the ground up, because we'll all be the first to admit we don't know what we're doing. I mean, I've hired an advisor, a corporate advisor. I've hired an attorney. We're getting advice from every which way and sideways to make sure we're doing it right. But none of us have experience doing this, so it's all very grassroots. So what we'd like to do is start small with building additions, or even building clinics, a small clinic. The possibility has crept into my mind, hey, maybe Everland by MJL needs a clinic. You know what I mean? Like something smaller. Now that's not a definite thing. It's just something that has been brought up in passing that we could start to do smaller than, okay, this is our plan. All we're going to do is build a children's hospital. That could be 20, 40 years down the road. So we're going to do everything we can in the meantime to help as soon as we can, wherever we can. But in order to do that, we need money. So
for sure.
That's kind of, in a nutshell, our thinking at this point, and our short-term plan. And then, of course, the ultimate mission is to build a Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital. And with any luck, we will be able to use the Jackson's name by the time that happens.
I think Shonda was saying before we went live, and you can explain that, you guys are going by Michael's Children's Hospital, but I know on Twitter you're MJCH_com, but you're not using the Jackson's name right now.
Right. Yeah, it does get a little confusing, and I'll apologize for that. Whenever the initiative first started, of course, it was MJCH, Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital. And, of course, in more and more discussions with the attorney, who obviously knows more about all this stuff than I do, his advice and just my gut feeling is, we don't have permission to use the Jackson's name in any way, shape, or form, really, to raise any kind of money for anything. And, we have tried contacting the estate a couple times. Actually, I think we're up to 4 letters now to the estate. And we haven't received any direct, definitive response to any of them. I think the first one, the estate released a very generic statement through the MJ Online team, about the estate wanting to do something charitable with Michael's money. And the other ones were kind of the same. Like, we're just not getting anywhere with them. So we thought, we can't stop what we're doing because we can't get the estate's approval to use the name. So we've decided to, whether it's temporary or permanent, whatever, the project is officially called Michael's Children's Hospital. The moniker MJCH is just it's going to stick around because that's how we started. And fortunately, MJCH can mean a whole lot of different things. So, that's not as concerning.
Michael's
as
Jumpin' Children's Hospital.
Exactly, and I guess at the end of the day, when we build a children's hospital, it's going to be in his honor no matter what it's called. So, to us, if it would be great if we could use his full name. If not, we're still pushing forward, and, we're not going to stop till we see a hospital built.
Love that. So, does location matter? We would like to be able to build in a third world country or in a needy country.
first, actually, I mean, just our research regarding costs and stuff to build in a first world is enormous. And, I'm not saying that the U.S. or the U.K. or any of those countries don't need hospitals, but there's countries out there that need them a whole lot more than we do. So that's where we'd like to focus our efforts. But, we do also have a research team in place that's literally what they're doing. They're checking, poverty lines and how many hospitals are in how many different countries and what they focus on, how many beds they have, things of that nature. Get some statistics so we can really look at it and make a decision.
Mhm. Shonda, you got a question?
No, actually, she already answered. Thank you.
Good to finally talk to you, Shonda, by the way.
Sorry about that.
I was dominating the conversation. Okay, I want to find out a little bit more. So if I'm just listening to this interview, Christine, where exactly can I at least, make a pledge or find out more about the initiative?
Well, if you want to learn about the initiative, we actually have two different websites right now, just to confuse things a little bit more, But, no, the original website is michaelschildrenshospital.com, and that has all of the project information. There's a button on every page that says Submit Pledge, big yellow button surrounded by little bumblebees. We like to call them the Dream Bee. Just click that button, and it takes you to a form. It's a really simple form. All you have to do is put in your name, your country, and check a couple little boxes and hit send, and your pledge is sent. Or you can email it to pledge@michaelschildrenshospital.com. That's the way you submit your pledge. Or if you just want information, there's information on that website. We just recently opened a new corporate website for the company itself that literally gives information on the structure of the organization itself, the legal information behind it. And that website is michaelsdreamfoundation.net. So, but there's nothing fun on that website. That's just a very boring corporate website.
You know what, Chris, before 2009, because this is such a massive project, before, the Murray trial, you were so compelled, you guys were so compelled to start this, were you involved in other charitable foundations or, inspired by Michael to give back in any other way?
I wasn't, actually, before 2009. I'll be honest, I fell in love with Michael during the Thriller era. I remember laying on my bed looking at that Thriller cover and just daydreaming.
You mean both.
So that was really my first exposure to Michael, and he always stayed with me in some form. I can't explain it. I didn't follow him. I was never a fanatic. I never saw him in concert. In 2009, I discovered, let me put it this way, I discovered on June 25th of 2009 that I didn't actually own any of his albums anymore because they had all been on cassette that I had, and my cassette collection got destroyed, and I just never replaced any of them. But I don't know, something changed in June of 2009, and I've done charity work before. I've actually worked with a lot of animal welfare organizations. I volunteered quite a bit through those, but nothing of this magnitude. He literally changed my life, and it happened in June of 2009. I can't really explain it. I could sit here and talk to you for hours about it, I'm sure, but
you really don't have to, because I feel the same way. I really do.
Yeah. Good. Good. So, and here I am today. And, it is funny, too, because, you can ask any of my family or close friends for the past, even before 2009, for the past probably 10 years, I have been looking for something charitable to get involved with. And that's, I think, why I've volunteered with so many smaller, animal welfare organizations are really easy to volunteer with. Half the time you don't even have to fill out an application,
to show up.
But when it comes to working, I would love to work with kids. I would love to find a part-time volunteer job just working with kids. I have sent in dozens of applications in 2 different counties for different, for big brothers, big sisters, and, very different organizations. And, I've never gotten a call from any of them. It's just bizarre. So anyway, for quite a few years I've been looking for something important to get involved in, and I never found it. And this just I kind of inherited this. I was involved because it was my best friend, of course, from day one that started the group. But, after we went a few months, and she had to leave it for personal reasons, and the other girl involved had to leave for personal reasons, and it was up to me. Do I continue or do I give up for personal reasons? And, well, I decided not to give up, so here we are. That's
and I'm so glad
story.
that you have decided to persevere on and not give up. And, man, you are taking on the whole enchilada. And when because I was thinking, well, okay, maybe, she maybe did a Thrill the World event or something like that. But no, she is jumping in head first to the deep end. This is good.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
I do have to say, though, I don't think I would be here if it wasn't for Miss Louise Greer, that I think is stalking the chat room right now. I'm not in there because I don't want to see who's listening to me. Hi, Louise. But she is like my rock, and she's been there since day one helping me with everything I need help with. And, she's just awesome. And they're all awesome. I mean, oh, my God, Carrie Ward and Isa. I do apologize because I know she's going to hear this tomorrow and she's going to be mad because I don't know how to pronounce your name. But, there's just so many people, so many amazing people that have been there from day one. But I will give a lot of credit to Louise. She's my part-time treasurer right now, and she's my secretary in the organization. So she's doing a lot.
Well, shout out to the preservationists all over the world, whatever you're doing. If you are helping children, if you are reading a book to an elderly citizen, if you are building a hospital, whatever you're doing, we salute you. And thank you so much for all the charitable work that you fans, you preservationists. And that's a preservationist is just someone who's preserving the legacy. If you're seeing, you're definitely one. I wish you Godspeed and good luck, and I am definitely behind MJCH. And the J stands for Jackson. I don't care what the estate does not do. The J is for Jackson. And we will throw any support behind MJCH all that we can. And thank you for joining us. Feel free to come back, especially with more updates on the project. We love to hear more.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for
coming. That was Christine taking on the whole enchilada. I love it. It's not just one thing. It's a huge thing that she's doing, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so amazing, especially for a third world country that needs medical attention. That would be amazing. So remember, you guys can go to michaelsdreamfoundation.net. That has all the X's and O's, but also michaelschildrenshospital.com.